Hey guys, I thought I would try posting one of the play-by-email games that I'm in for Strategic Command World War II. The game has already started. It is in, I want to say we're around the third turn, something like that. So I'll briefly recap for you what happened so far in the game. And honestly, I don't know if anyone's going to be interested in a let's play on this game, but it is one of my favorite games, I would say. Maybe my favorite play-by-email game. Because it's kind of bite-sized. Usually I can do a turn in somewhere between 15 minutes and 45 minutes, depending on what year of the war we're in and where we're at. And if I want to, I can exit and come back and finish the turn. It also encompasses the whole world, which is just a lot of fun to be able to coordinate between the Pacific and the Atlantic and the Med and the Russian front and the Manchurian front. It's just a fascinating game to me. I really, really love it. Um, so this game, I would say I'm an intermediate player in this game. I'm not great at it, but I'm okay. Um, and I just started this game against another fellow. I haven't played him before, but he said he's an intermediate player. So far, it looks like he is playing very well. He's the Axis. He's opened with Poland and did really well there. Several things he did there that were interesting. So I think he's probably pretty good, but I'm not sure yet. Let's see. So I'll just load up the game here. It's the start of, I want to say it's turn 3, maybe turn 4. So I'll view the replay from last turn. Poland has already fallen. The Chinese are being attacked. The Italians are sailing some ships randomly around the Med, I think just to kind of bother me and scout. The Italians also sent a transport out through Gibraltar. I suppose it's going to Africa, but I don't know for sure. So I think this is turn 3, yeah, because he still has some units in Poland. There, a German cruiser showed up at Cape Town. And I've fallen back from this northern Chinese city with the Chinese. You can see that there. And he's pounding me around Changsha. That's the end of the replay. I occupied the Irish ports last turn, which gives the British a morale boost and gives you 2 more small ports. They can't really repair ships, they're too small, but you can base ships there to upgrade them. USA is upset about that. I'm also raiding the Norwegian convoy lines, and he has blockaded Cape Town with that cruiser that we saw. Do we want to force Finland to transfer the Karelian Isthmus and Hanko to our control? Yes, we want to do that as the Russians. This leads you to the event that lets you upgrade the Russian army for the winter, which is important, I think. 1 reinforcement, which is a Chinese corps. You can notice here that I'm sending the 2 starting U.S. armies, one's half strength, one's full strength, to the west coast. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to garrison Honolulu with something stronger. I have lost Honolulu in a game earlier, and I want to do my best to keep it. So I'm going to later, first of all, I'll focus on research with the U.S., but once we get closer to war, I'll pull out these 2 units, and you're only allowed to keep 2 units in the Hawaiian Islands. That's what this note on the map says. So I'm going to pull the 2 units out there, and I might pull only one of them out. I might leave the special forces, but I'll push 1 or 2 armies into Honolulu area to try to hold that in case the Japanese come after it when they open the war. And these little markers are a naval exclusion zone, so you basically have to keep the U.S. within this area, and you can't send too many U.S. units to Hawaii, as you can see here, just 2. So basically all the U.S. units will stay on the west coast, so I'm moving these guys over. Let's take care of China first. I'm falling back in northern China. I don't really see any reason to hold this Pao Tao settlement. It's worth 0 MPPs. It does nothing for me. It just frees my forces up to operate somewhere else. It does tie down some Japanese to hold it, but it's a little bit hard to hold if the Japanese want it. And I don't mind if the Japanese want to advance here, because then they come within 3 of the Chi-Com capital and might activate the Communist Chinese. So if they do decide to chase me and take this town, or advance into here to take this other settlement, Yangkou here, they can upset Mao and make the chances that the Chinese communists come in higher. So I'm okay if they want to chase me. I'm sending this headquarters down south because ideally with the Chinese I'd prefer 4 headquarters. One to provide supply to the Nanning area, one to provide supply along the Changsha Highway, one to provide supply here at Yicheng, and then one to provide supply at Chengchao. It looks to me like the Japanese are going heavily for Chengchao here early, and they're doing a really good job of it. I don't think I can hold Chengchao for very long the way that it looks, but let's see. I'll try. This is a swamp, a marsh, so I'll pull this unit out of the marsh. Unfortunately, he's not going to be very well. Well, I guess he is dug in. And I think I'll occupy the marsh with an infantry corps. You can't dig in the marsh, so there's no advantage to staying there to dig in. I really want another infantry unit into this area, so I'll move this army here. I'll also move this army south. I think I'm actually going to send him into the same area, Chengchao. And then I'll try to hold this Yangkou settlement a little bit to see if they'll attack me here. And if needed, I can fall back farther into this forested and mountain area, which is pretty hard to advance through for the Japanese. Okay, in the south, I'm building a fortification here near Nanning. I'm not taking a lot of losses here, so I think it's okay to just reinforce these units. I won't fall back yet. And what else do I need to do with China? I'm going to move these garrison units north in case the Japanese do advance into the west. Then I have some units to kind of hold these towns in the city, Lanchao, which is obviously super important. It's a morale objective. I don't know what alternate industrial means, but I know it's important to hold this city. So I want to be prepared to do that. And then I think I'll have another infantry unit here and another unit available around Nanning. I don't know if he's going to advance at Nanning. It looks like he's just happy to sit here at Pakoi. But maybe. I don't know. We'll see what he does. So I think that's it for the Chinese moves. Let me get their research going. I want to get infantry weapons researched as quickly as possible, so I will put, this is my first chance to have enough MPPs left to start research there, so I'll start that research. That's it for China. Then I've got a couple of Australian and New Zealand ships that I'm sending to India to be reinforced to full strength. So let me get those guys moved. And then I've got a couple of Australian cruisers, a light and a heavy cruiser that are headed west because I thought that it's possible that we will encounter the German cruiser here, so we've done that. And then I've got another cruiser here which was based in the southwest Atlantic, Cumberland. I will start moving the Cumberland south to try to sort of beat up on this Admiral Spee. I'm probably going to need more to face down Admiral Spee, so I might send a battleship south. It's a little dangerous because there could be a sub, but let's try. And then here in North Africa, I'm moving this French garrison over to hold Tunis so that I can take this corps up to France itself to help hold France. Here, I'm trying to get a unit dug in next to the Luxembourg in case he attacks Luxembourg, which he might do. What else do I want to do with France here? I think I'm in okay shape with France. I want to move this unit north because I'm going to want another unit here near Lille. So I'll move it north. And then I've already spent, for France, I've already spent 100 points for diplomacy with Spain. I kind of like to do that early to get a chance to move Spain in my direction because Allies' direction because it already starts pro-German and I don't want them to diplo it. So to me, it's a good investment early of 100 MPPs for France. There are other alternatives, but I mean, it weakens you in France. You can't then build an armor unit, which you might otherwise do. It makes it harder to build other French units that you might want. Probably with the French, I can either go with an anti-air or I can hold it and try to build another corps. I think I will. If I build an anti-air, it'll show up in February. I probably don't need it that soon, so I think I'll wait to make this decision. Oh, I forgot to place this Chinese reinforcement. So I think I'll place the reinforcement here. Maybe at Chungking. Because I don't know where I'm going to want that unit yet. Let's see what the Japanese do. So I'll put it at Chungking. Back to France. I think that's all I need to do with France. I'm busy raiding the convoy line here. I don't know if the Kriegsmarine or the subs are going to come after me, so I'm trying to defend myself from that and be ready and have some ships in port to strike back if that happens. So also I want to check every turn to see if any of my raiding ships are low on supply. If they are, I send them back to resupply. And let's see. Yeah, it looks like I'm in decent shape there. The supply runs from, I mean, the resources run from north to south, so I think the way it works is the ships that have this blue dot are on raider mode, and the ships that are farther north will first raid the convoy line, and they get some experience, and they also go down in supply by 1. So the ships that are at the southern end of the line generally don't go down in supply or don't get the raid or get experience. So I'd prefer to get experience for my bigger, more important ships like my carriers and my battleships. So I put them at the north part of the line to get better experience. But that means I have to rotate them out for supply. Looks like he's got a ton of subs here. So let's try to sally forth. Ouch. Oh boy, that was at least it did 5 to the Germans as well as to me. I want to get this strategic bomber farther west in case the battle goes here and have a chance to hit the subs with the strategic bombers, so I'll try to move it over. Let's go after this sub a little bit. All I did was hurt myself. Let's try here. He dove. So now I need to find the sub. Let's try to find him with this. This French unit's already moved. I can send this British light cruiser west. And I can probably afford to send a... What else can I send over? I can scout. Oh, I already moved him. This light cruiser can head north. No, I'll wait for that. I want to kind of box him in. Since I attacked north, he's probably somewhere up here. So I'll try to go here, see what I find. And here. Then here. Nothing. There he is. Again, I just hurt myself. Boo. Yuck. So he might try to escape, so I think I'll send this cruiser up to try to block him. I want to get the sub into port and repaired. I will send this CV. I want him on bomber mode since there's no chance for fighters out there. So I'll put him on bomber mode, and then I'll send him up here to try to strike that sub. Got him. Ooh, there's another one. Wow. Interesting. Oh, I almost sunk him. Very, very close. I'm gonna need more in that area. So, what can I do? Let's send this light cruiser to try to protect this carrier a little bit. Probably a little dangerous position for that carrier with so many subs floating around. But I think he'll be screened by the cruisers and destroyers pretty well. I think I'll send over this British sub to help protect the carrier. And then I'm going to move over some more carriers to participate next turn. If the subs do come after me. And that means that I probably can't afford to pull all of these guys off of raider duty. I'm going to need enough to stop the Norwegian supplies from getting through. I think I'll send the cruiser over here also. Okay. I think that's good enough for the Western Allies. I don't think anything else is needed for them. In the Med, everything is going okay. I'm moving a South African corps north. So he started here around, I think, Durban, and I'm moving him north, and he'll eventually end up here in Kenya, and then attack into Ethiopia from the south. I'll also probably end up sailing this headquarters north for South Africa because he's too slow to walk up the way that the Corps is. But in the meantime, the Corps has time to march up there. And then I'll muster a force here in Sudan to attack into Italian East Africa later. And I'm ready to reinforce here in Egypt, but I haven't spent any MPPs on that yet. Let's see, what else do we have going on? I think that's it. In the meantime, the Russians are moving west with their Siberian forces. These aren't all the Siberians. The Russians get more Siberians when the war with Germany starts. But this is a good chunk. I mean, there are 3 corps, Special Forces Corps and an armor unit that I like to march over to face the Germans. And then I leave behind a couple of units to defend against the Japanese. I might put another unit there later, but I'll have at least those. And then in Russia, I like to. I don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea, but there are 2 fortress cities that you start with on the German border, on the Polish border. I like to garrison those with corps and take the sort of beefed up garrison units that start with 1 experience dot and 6 points. I like to send those up to defend against the Finns along the Murmansk Railway. And then these guys, I just want units on the Persian border to go garrison Tehran, because if you don't garrison Tehran, I think it gives Turkey a lean toward the Axis. So I want to be ready to garrison Tehran later when the decision event comes up that allows the allies to take over Persia. I want a unit there. And then I want another unit to defend this port, because I don't want the Germans to invade behind me. I might send another garrison to defend this port, I think. I'm going to have a couple of extra garrisons that can come out of Karelia. So I'm moving these garrison units south. I'll probably eventually leave 1 here at Rezev, which is a small settlement. Hard for the Germans to attack because they have to come out of the Leaky Lukey area. And that's a tough go for them. So you don't need a lot to defend here. I just want something. And I've got some units here ready to move into the Baltic states once those are activated for the Russians, or once the Russians have the Baltic states. So, and I've got it's easy for the Germans to use the air in the south because it's pretty clear and the weather is better in the south than it is in the north. So I'm moving an anti-aircraft unit south to help defend that area. Obviously, I don't want the Germans to get into the oil here or take Stalingrad. If I can help it, they will take Stalingrad probably. If they want it, they'll take it. Voronezh, they'll take it easily. Rostov, they'll eventually take. But I want to make it tough for them to advance here. So I like to have some of my stronger units and my air in the south as the Russians. Okay, so let's take a look at research. I tried to save all of my build points on the first turn. This might only be the second turn, or no, maybe it's third. I tried to save as many MPP as possible to get into research early if I can. So for the British, they're already into infantry weapons, which is critical. Fighters is very important. I'd like to research ground weapons, but probably more important is to get into anti-sub warfare. So let me work on that this turn. Okay. And then for the Americans, they've got 173. I really want infantry weapons, so I'll probably wait there. Only not enough for that. And none of the other countries look like they have enough to do research, really. So that's all I can really do for research. Okay, one more look at the map to make sure I'm done. And I think that'll do it for this turn. Just trying to make sure I don't forget anything. Nope, I think that's it. So I'll end this turn. And I'll make another video when I do my next turn. Thank you, guys. Oh, wait, I'll let you see the decision events here. Yeah, I'll take an engineer for France. Cost me 50 MPPs. Okay, looks like the Canada line is still getting crushed, unfortunately. See you next time.